what can we do? What can we do with the space that we're in? We can take this time to learn, to just reveal the necessity for acknowledging the humanity of Black people in this country as a whole. I'm an educator, and there's this pedagogy in the world of education of discomfort that says essentially when one is learning new things, there is a period of discomfort. And I think that's what we're experiencing right now as a country, as a collective whole, as a collective entity. We are very uncomfortable. And from this discomfort, there will be growth and there will be learning, but there's a lot of growing pains that we're going to have to go through first. I also think that what I've experienced is a world that often silences those who attempt to speak up. I know when I was growing up, I wanted to be involved in everything. I wanted to be in every club. I wanted to raise my hand and answer every question. But what I ended up experiencing was a broad silencing. I never got in much trouble growing up, but if ever there was a comment or if ever there was some sort of reprimand, it would be for being too outspoken and wanting to express myself. And I think what often happens is Black children are silenced or taught to keep their opinions to themselves or taught to not rock the boat too much. What ultimately happens is a lot of young Black people end up internalizing that silencing, and it keeps us from being our greatest and most fulfilled selves. What I love seeing now is that people are pushing back against the silence. We have a lot to talk about. Of course, we have to talk about the killing of George Floyd in broad daylight, but this is tied to a longer history, American history, that has to do with lynching and segregation and the dismantling of Black societies. We think about Seneca Village in New York City in 1857, and people who were forced to move because the city of New York decided they wanted to build Central Park right over where this thriving, prosperous community was. Tulsa, Oklahoma in 1921, also known as the Greenwood district. We know this as Black Wall Street. This area was burned to the ground, and it was disheartening and dismantling of Black wealth and Black enterprise. You have the move bombing that occurred in Philadelphia in 1985, where 65 homes were burned to the ground. It's walking distance from where I'm sitting and recording this right now, y'all. And as I walked 52nd Street last week, I saw this resilience, I saw this passion, I saw this community coming together. The only thing we can do is to unify in some ways, have discussions, and really listen. No one is going to forget this period of time. This is one for the history books. So I think the only way we're going to be able to find ourselves out of this COVID-19 crisis and out of this period of racial uproar is for us to really listen to one another. So the goal for a better future, as we're here in the 21st century, is to look back on our history and really take a deep look at how we want to proceed. Some are saying that it's time to advocate for greater social change. Some are saying that we still don't have a cure to COVID-19 and we're still in the midst of a pandemic. Some are saying it's time to focus on climate change. All of these points are valid, and each of these points is urgent. So I call for a real unification of people, and it's going to be difficult because a lot of people have their own biases about race. Many people place judgment, and we can't get anywhere if people are judging one another. But if we take this time and really humanize one another and listen to what each other has to say and actively work toward advocating for change after that, then maybe, just maybe, we will get somewhere. This is for my people who are sensitive like me. If you need time to turn off your social media, turn it off. Treat yourself to a nice meal from a Black-owned restaurant in your neighborhood. I'll post a link on Black-owned restaurants in Philadelphia below. By treating yourself to a nice meal and really just being present while you eat, you'll be able to give back to your community and also nourish yourself in a way that's probably much needed right now. Have one routine that you do in the morning and one routine that you do in the evening. For example, I do deep breathing in the morning. I do prayer and meditation in the morning as well. In the evening, listen to the Headspace app. Whether it's meditating or reading a sacred text, just do something in your morning and your evenings. By implementing these routines, you'll be able to have time where you lift your spirit and you can just do a little check-in with yourself. Remember to breathe. It's really easy to hold your breath while you're scrolling through Instagram and just looking at all these stories, seeing everything that people are saying and responding on Twitter and reading all these articles. It's a lot. Be kind to yourself. We'll all get there together because you know what? We have to. Our society's calling for change, huh? So let's make a change. All right. I'll see you all soon. Love you all very much. Bye.